Hi, this is another edition of Stuart Doll Show, starring myself, Stuart Doll. For you people that do know me or do not know me, you can call me by my first name, Stuart, or you can call me Stu or Stewie. I honestly don't care. I am a proud patriotic German citizen. I'm from Lahr, Baden-Württemberg, Germany, which is about 45 minutes from Lahr to the German-French border. And the river, I guess you could say the River Rhine, acts as an actual border between Germany and France, because the river, for you people that don't know what the where the River Rhine is, it's a big river in Europe, but it runs from its mouth all the way in Holland, all the way down to the, I believe, all the way down to the Swiss border. So yeah. But I think, I think, I think those men of the German military, through World War II, World War One, World War II, and every other conflict or combat mission ever since. If it wasn't for those German soldiers, like I've said, World War One, World War II, and every other conflict ever since, they're the true heroes. They are the ones that have spilt their own blood and given their lives for the German fatherland. And for that, I say thank you, and es liebe Deutsch, es liebe Deutschland. For you people that don't know what that means in English, that basically just means long live Germany. But yeah, anyway, yeah. So Gott seeken Deutschland, which basically just means in English, God bless Germany. Now let's just get right into my show. On a sports related topic, the Saskatchewan Roughriders suffered, and I mean in the most painful way possible, suffered their sixth straight loss of the season, no thanks to Matt Nichols and the Edmonton Eskimos. See how sarcastically I say that? Because, really. It seems like ever since Gary Durant went down with that season-ending injury where he had a ruptured Achilles tendon, in all Riders fans thought, the coaching staff thought, oh, with Kevin Glenn, at the helm, everything's gonna be fine. Well, guess what? Kevin Glenn's on the 6-game injured list because he has a pectoral muscle. So anyway, right now everything right now for the Saskatchewan Roughriders is going basically just from bad to worse. Like I said, on one hand you got Darian Durant going down with a season-ending injury where he had a ruptured Achilles tendon, in the first game of the season, and his first game of the season, because last season Darian Durant missed the last 8 games of the season because of a season-ending elbow injury. No thanks to Winnipeg Blue Bombers player Brian Turner. And then this time in the Riders' first game of the season, it wasn't Brian Turner that caused the season-ending injury to Durant this time. Guess who it was? And this is just my opinion, Greg asshole Peach. And sorry for that, but like, you know, well, the way that the Durant injury was, you know, sustained, like, you know, it's not an unavoidable injury. What it was is Durant was going to, you know, going to pass the ball. He was going through his motions. He goes to step, and he's about to go throw the ball, and then out comes Greg Peach from the end, and unfortunately steps on Durant's foot and the back of his ankle. Unfortunately, and it's not an avoidable injury, so you know, but it's just the hazard of playing football. And unfortunately, like Durant tried walking it off, and then you know, unfortunately, like he had to like you know go like hey to the Saskatchewan Roughriders sideline to the medical staff like hey get over here, you know, I need to be carted off the field. And he was carted off. Well, he was helped off the field, but then he had to be put on a cart, and then I guess you know, and but you know, it's unfortunate, but oh well. And like I said, unfortunately, the Rough Riders lost their sixth straight game of the season, 30-5 against the Edmonton Eskimos. Like, you know, like really, like if the Saskatchewan Roughriders want to win games and they want to make the playoffs and play for Canada's holy grail of the CFL, the Grey Cup, they need to get the Saskatchewan Roughriders need to get their shit together, because otherwise, you know, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and that even though I may be a Rough Rider fan, but I also support the Winnipeg Blue Bombers too, because I live here in Winnipeg, but I mostly support the Saskatchewan Rough Riders for a few reasons. It makes my mom mad. Makes my friend Callie Samagalski, my friend Callie, who I used to go to Callie Samagalski. For you YouTubers or you know any people like that, you may not know her. I used to go to school with her like in Grant Park High School. But anyways, like I'm a Riders Bombers fan. Like I still support Winnipeg, but not as much. It's just I don't know how the Winnipeg Blue Bombers do it, but they always find a way to literally just shoot themselves in the foot, so to speak, if you know what I mean. So, and the reason why I'm a Saskatchewan Roughriders fan, like I said, it not only makes my mom mad, it ticks off my mom, ticks off my friend Kelly Samagalski, and it ticks off my girlfriend, Erica O'Brien, and any other friends of mine that are, you know, Bomber fans. And even though Saskatchewan may be on a losing streak right now, let me see. When was the last time that Winnipeg actually won a Grey Cup? Oh wait, it was the year I was born, 1990. So, to you Bomber fans, and you Bomber fans just got burned by yours truly, Stuart Dahl of the Stuart Dahl Show. But oh well, yeah, I have the right to do that. But anyways, I hope the Riders season turns around. But you know, like it would be it would be really nice, because it really, like I said, it just seems like like you know, like I said, everything's not going well for the Saskatchewan Roughriders at this point. But anyway, the anyways, let's get on to another, I guess you could say, political related subject. I guess you could say. This article is titled Ukraine-Russia Conflict. Germany military spending $21 million on troops for the NATO exercises in Ukraine. And for you people that do not know the longer version of NATO, it is the NATO stands for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. For you people that don't know, that's just the word. That's NATO for the shorter version. Anyways, I'm going to read you this article. German military the German military plans to spend an additional 20 million euros, or 21 million, on its military budget this year in preparation for the NATO military exercises in September, the German Defense Ministry announced Thursday. The NATO exercises are set to take place in Ukraine, aimed at criticism they will thinly veil warning to Russia about its involvement in the violent civil war in Ukraine. Germany plans to send an additional 154,000 of approximately 180,000 active troops to participate in military maneuvers worldwide. So yeah, it seems like right now, with the conflict in Ukraine, it seems like a lot of NATO countries are starting to take a real hard stance in that, with Russia basically stating they're basically saying to Russia, listen here, you really gotta stop causing shit in Ukraine, because the more you do that, the more it's gonna anger NATO. And I don't know. Sometimes I really do not understand politics sometimes I do not understand politics in Europe. But sometimes politics in Europe can be really odd and strange at times. But whatever. But anyways, other than that, I don't think, in relation to this conflict in Ukraine, I don't think that German Chancellor Angela Merkel wants to jeopardize, the relations between Germany and Russia. Because, long story short, Germany gets their natural gas from Russia through this, I believe, through this pipeline called the Nord Stream. And so basically, in other words, Russia is Germany's gas supplier, and in return, Germany invests heavily in Russia's energy industry. So there is a point to this, but there comes a time that that NATO countries literally really need to stand up to. Some NATO leaders really need to stand up and grow a set of balls and stand up to Vladimir Putin, because even though Vladimir Putin, who's the current Russian president, maybe is a former KGB officer, but despite that, Vladimir Putin can't go around causing a big old shitstorm, because right now, ever since the ousting of the Ukrainian president Viktor Yushchenko, everything in the conflict in Ukraine, it's been literally a total shitstorm, and I think these NATO military exercises that are set to take place in September in Ukraine, they may have I think they're it's the whole point of doing the whole purpose of NATO doing this is to basically send a clear warning to Russia, basically saying, hey, listen, you know, you listen, you really need to stop, causing, shit for everybody. I think that's the whole point of these NATO military exercises that are set to take place in September in Ukraine. I think it's to send a clear message to Vladimir Putin and the Russian and Sergei Lavrov and the rest of the Russian government. But, oh well. Anyways, I'm gonna get back into reading the article I was reading to you guys. Titled Ukraine Conflict, Germany military spends 21 million on troops for NATO exercises in Ukraine. And as I was saying, Germany planned to send an additional 154,000 of its approximately 180,000 active troops to prepare in military maneuvers worldwide, more than double the 73,000 troops it had sent to NATO exercises in 2013 before the start of the Ukraine conflict. Germany will be able to send its planned 4,400 troops to exercises in Poland and in the Baltics because Germany currently has only 2,700 troops stationed abroad, Defense Ministry officials said, as reported by the German newspaper. Tensions between Russia and NATO members, such as Germany and the United States, have been heightened following Russia's annexation of Crimea in March of 2014, and it reports military support for pro-Russian separatists in the region. During similar NATO exercises in the Arctic Ocean in March, Russian President Vladimir Putin put the country's fleet on high alert. The response involved stationing 38,000 troops, 360 pieces of equipment, 41 ships, 15 submarines, and 110 airplanes and helicopters along the Russian border, said Sergei Shug, of the Russian Defense Ministry, as reported by the Russian newspaper service. Ukraine isn't NATO territory, but Vladimir Putin has destroyed an enormous amount of trust with his conduct. German Defense Minister Ursula von der Leyen told the German magazine Der Speckle in June. That's why we have to take into consideration the considerations of our Eastern partners very seriously. The 20 million euros for financing the NATO drills, representing a huge increase in Germany's defense budget, bumping it from 70 million euros to 90 million euros. So this goes to show you that that even though there may be good economic relations between Germany and Russia, it doesn't excuse the fact that some of Vladimir Putin's conduct has been conduct has been really unexcusable by and that I don't know if NATO has some evidence saying that Vladimir Putin has sent Russian troops into Ukraine to eastern Ukraine to help out the pro-Russian separatists. I don't know if there's any evidence to back that up, but I'll believe it when I see it. I honestly don't have an opinion really at this moment, but that's that. What else? So anyway, on another news-related subject. What was I going to say? On another news-related subject. What else? Anyways, oh, what was I gonna say? Here's another. Right now, like with the debt crisis in Greece and that, like most EU countries, they be thinking right now that Greece is just being a big old thorn in their asses right now, and that that may be true. I don't know, and that, but like I understand that some stuff may be humiliating to Greece and that, but yeah, the country is like so like far in debt. It's not even funny. The country's going down the toilet financially, and that, and some people within Alexis Tsipras' own party are just causing shitstorm and that, and they're going. Well, this is what I gotta say to the members of Alexis Tsipras' own party. How about y'all sit down, stop being a bunch of whiny crybaby bitches, and grow a set of balls. Oh, wait, people within Alexis Tsipras' own party don't have a set of balls. Oh. And that is another burn for the Alexis Tsipras' own party, courtesy of yours truly, Stuart Dahl, of the Stuart Dahl Show. And I really don't give a shit. Honestly. Here's an article from the Telegraph. It's titled, U.S. Economics denies being a part of a criminal game over secret Plan B for Greece. Renowned U.S. economist who has been a part of a secret Plan B team devised by Greece's former finance minister has denied being involved in a criminal gang intent to bring that Dramatica or whatever back to the country. James, a professor of government at the University of Texas and a long friend of the former Greek finance minister, coordinated a 5-man effort which advised Athens on emergency measures it could take if Greece was forced out of the Eurozone. And right now, the Greek debt crisis, the Greek debt crisis is having a ripple effect on the world, and some stocks are going down, even there's plummeting oil prices and that, and I think the Greek debt crisis ain't helping the world with jack shit at all. But whatever. Anyways, on another news-related subject, and this is from CBC News Manitoba. It is titled, Journeys Travel and Leisure Supercenter closes its doors in Winnipeg. Owner claims pressure from competition, sagging online market to blame for bankruptcy. After 15 years in business, Journeys Travel and Leisure Supercenter in Winnipeg closed its doors for good. Ron I'm not going to pronounce his name, opened the business in 2000 with his family. Due to an increasingly challenged online marketplace, the owner, I guess you could say the owner of Journeys Travel Leisure Supercenter, said that they were forced to file for bankruptcy and close the store. And that it's unfortunate, that this had to happen, but Sometimes sometimes it's for sometimes it's for the best. And what else? Here's an update on the Canada election, Canadian federal election 2015. This article from CBC News on politics. It's titled Canada Election 2015. Stephen Harper confirms start of an 11-week federal campaign. And Stephen Harper has begun the Midsummer Marathon that will be the longest federal election campaign in recent history. Harper emerged from Renaud Hall this morning, confirming that he had asked Governor General David Johnston to dissolve Parliament for a general election to be held Monday, October 19th. After speaking after his meeting with Johnston, Harper emphasized the need for a strong hand on the economy and issues of security, including a violent global jihadist movement represented by ISIS. Pressed by reporters why he launched the campaign so far in advance of the fixed election date, which boosts the cost to taxpayers, Harper said, "Everybody knows the election date, and the campaigns of other parties, as near as I can tell, have already begun. I feel very strongly that those campaigns need to be conducted under the rules of law, that the money comes from the parties themselves, not from government resources, parliamentary resources, or taxpayer resources. In terms of the advantages this party has, the terms of that fact that we are a better financially political party, a better organized political party, and better supported by Canadians. Those advantages exist whether we call this campaign or not. What we did do by calling this campaign is making sure that we are all operating within the rules and not using taxpayers' money directly." Speaking in, I'm not even able to pronounce it, some town in Quebec, NDP leader Thomas Mulcair also stressed the economy as a defining issue of the campaign. Canadians have a clear choice, he said, for 4 more years of Mr. Harper and the Conservatives or my plan for change. We will kickstart the economy and get Canadians back to work. This is our number one priority. I guess Mulcair said. The NDP leader also issued in a speech to introduce himself to Canadians who may not know him, stressing his upbringing, his values, and his years in politics. Unlike Harper, Mulcair did not take any questions from reporters. In most recent polls, it was shown Mulcair and the NDP party leaning or in a virtual tie with Harper and the Conservatives. Green Party leader Elizabeth May, speaking from her British Columbia riding of I'm not going to pronounce it. Chased Harper for the length of the campaign. Why isn't it right? What isn't right is to claim that taxpayers aren't subsidizing this election. It's going to cost Canadians tens of millions of dollars more, she said. Liberal Party leader Justin Trudeau was scheduled to be at a weekend Pride event in Vancouver before heading elsewhere to kick off his campaign. He is due to speak at 2 p.m. Eastern. The leader of the Bloc Québécois spoke in Montreal, saying he had struck a number of young people who may have joined the party. After his visit to Renault Hall, Harper headed to Montreal for a rally at 5 p.m. Eastern in the riding of Mont Royal. Voters will get their first chance to see the party's leaders together in action on August 6th during a debate hosted by Maclean's magazine in Toronto. The campaign election, which will last 11 weeks or 78 days, will be the longest in the country's history. According to the Canadian press, Canada's first two election campaigns were longer than the 1867 campaign lasted 81 days, while the 1872 went for 96 days back then. Voting was staggered over the country for a period of several months. The longest race in recent history was 74 days campaign back in 1926. It has seen basically long story short, for you YouTubers and that may live here in Winnipeg, or live anywhere in Canada, the federal election is on Monday, October 19th. So this is going to be a long campaign, and I mean a long one, but oh well, what can you expect? But anyways, yeah, so that's pretty much what most of my show's about. My show, the Stuart Dolls show, is about. I talk about sports related topics. I try to give you some sports updates, and I also try to talk about different politics, whether it be here in Canada, the United States, or Europe, for example. But anyways, here's a news related subject from oh, pardon me, sorry about that. Oh my god, I so apologize for that, doctor, I really do. Anyways, here's a news related subject out of Winnipeg. A man is critically injured in a West End house fire early Sunday morning. Emergency crews were called to a home in the 500 block of Furby Street just before 2 a.m. Fire officials said crews from 8 different fire stations responded to the call. One male resident was rushed to Winnipeg's Health Center in critical condition, and there has been no update on the man's condition. 3 firefighters were also hurt, but their injuries are not considered serious enough to require a trip to the hospital. There was no word or cause of the fire, an estimate of the damage amount, or an estimate of the damage amount. Police remained on the scene for several hours after the fire was out. The investigation continues. So, again, like I said, my show, the Stuart Dolls show, like I said, I talk about sports-related subjects. I talk about current news. I talk about different political-related subjects. from Europe to Canada, the United States, and that. That's basically just what my show is all about. Um, and if you guys want my honest opinion on, if you want who I would like to be U.S. president, I would actually like to see Barack Obama get a second term at being president of the United States, because I think Barack Obama has done, I think he's done a good job in his 4-year term. So that's my opinion. Anyhow, this has been another edition of the Stuart Dahl Show. I am signing off for now. I may make another video later. But for you young people, stay in school, stay out of trouble, you'll do fine. And for now, Auf Wiedersehen, peace, and bye-bye, and stay cool, my friends. And on another note, is Liebe Deutschland und ganz sicher Deutschland, which means long live Germany and God bless Germany. But on that note, bye-bye, Auf Wiedersehen, bye, and peace and stay cool, my friends.